You've got to fix the bottlenecks in your business. Sure, we've all heard it, right? But which ones? How do you even spot them? And once you spot them, how do you fix it? That's what I'm going to cover in this video. And if you already know you want a customized report showing your biggest bottlenecks, I have created a quiz for you. So feel free to click that link and get your custom results. Now, I first learned all about bottlenecks from Eliyahu Goldratt in his book titled The Goal. He tells this story, which I think illustrates it really well. So Herbie is a chubby boy on a Boy Scout hike. I can relate because I was that kid. The troop, they're trying to hike together, but the group keeps getting spread out. So some kids rush ahead, others fall behind, especially Herbie, who moves pretty slowly. Multiple times the group finds itself, they're waiting for Herbie to catch up, and as soon as he gets there, the group takes off again. So the fast people end up being really well rested, slightly bored, while slow Herbie has to be moving the whole time. So the troop leader realizes the slowest person, Herbie, love you Herbie, he's setting the pace for the entire group whether they like it or not. So he does something counterintuitive. He moves Herbie to the front of the line, and then he lightens Herbie's load by redistributing some of his gear to the other boys. So with Herbie leading and less weighed down, the whole group starts to move more steadily and faster as a whole. Herbie's the bottleneck, which is any point where progress slows or value leaks. By fixing the bottleneck, the whole system is more productive. Now, your bottlenecks can show up anywhere. They could be a cash constraint. Maybe it's a capacity issue. Maybe it's you. I'm going to cover 9 types of bottlenecks so that you can get a pretty thorough picture of the areas maybe you could focus on. And of course, if you want a specific customized report, take our free quiz by clicking the link below. Now, without knowing your bottlenecks, you could find yourself fixing the wrong thing because what you tried to fix is just one of the consequences of the actual bottleneck. So it's always important to find the root. So category number 1, capacity bottlenecks. This is about time and bandwidth, your team, your calendar, your brain. Here are the questions to consider. How do I handle surprise problems without derailing my entire day? Because if you're operating beyond max capacity, you're the bottleneck. Do I see the warning signs before we hit our limit or after we hit our limit? Now, this helps us see if your workload system is reactive versus proactive. And in a reactive system, capacity can be a bottleneck. Am I trying to operate each day by pouring 2 gallons of chocolate syrup into a 1-gallon jug? This puts you and your team in firefighting mode, another sign that capacity is a bottleneck. The most common issue we see in capacity bottlenecks is the owner. The owner's at full mental and operational capacity, but keep saying yes to more. So the 3.3 fix is you use the 3.3 rule structure to force intentional constraint. Work in focus blocks up to 3 hours, and then protect a real 30% recovery period. At the end of every work block, do a mini review. If you didn't get to what you wanted to or needed to, then it gets deferred, delegated, or deleted. And this is going to expose the things you don't need to be working on, the areas you need more capacity, or the things that are just plain old noise, aka busy work. Bottleneck number 2 is net income bottlenecks. This is like, hey, you're working, but where's the profit? So questions for net income bottlenecks: which expenses are actually helping me grow and which ones just make me feel busy? Because it's important to know if you're spending strategically or just flushing money down the toilet. What could I cut or adjust today to free up cash? This question puts urgency behind cutting some expenses that we've put off for so long that we feel like the expense is part of our identity, yet it's doing nothing for us. Am I making money from multiple sources, or am I just over-relying on one client, one offer, or one revenue stream? Sometimes you can have all your expenses dialed in, but net income is still a bottleneck because you're missing revenue. So we need to add more revenue. Sometimes adding a new revenue stream can sometimes be just what the doctor ordered. The most common issue with this one is that expenses often increase at the same pace, if not faster than revenue. So the 3.3 fix here is apply the size of the shovel concept from my book. which is the 3.3 rule. You want to audit where each dollar is being spent, eliminate or redirect anything that's not helping you get customers or keep customers. This makes the hole created from the net income bottleneck smaller, making your shovel larger in comparison. It means you can fill it up faster. Third bottleneck, owners pay. If you're not paying yourself regularly or paying yourself enough, this is the result of an owner's pay bottleneck. The discovery questions, am I just taking what's left over? This is going to expose if you're structurally underpaying yourself. And as revenue grows, am I adjusting my salary or still acting like it's year one? Potentially you have a cash flow bottleneck in letting overhead or overhiring get in the way of your take-home pay. Remember, I'm reinvesting in the business is often code for I'm underpaying myself and calling it strategy. Now, the most common owner's pay bottleneck is that owners pay themselves last. The 3.3 fix is to set a fixed salary immediately. It should be at least market rate for what you would have to pay someone to do what you do for the business. The fourth bottleneck is 5-star fit bottlenecks. You're hiring people, but are they the right people? So you want to ask, am I attracting top talent or just warm bodies? Because this helps you know if you lack 5-star fits, whether your process is working or isn't. Are we retaining rock stars or accidentally repelling them? This helps you see if your culture or brand are mismatched with your recruiting efforts. The most common issue here is you are hiring people because your 1-star flops aren't 5-star fits, and they're falling short of the required performance you need out of them. So you hire more people. The 3.3 fix is to hire better. Rewrite your job ads, filter candidates out faster. Do a better job in the interview process of having the candidate do a shadow day so you can get a firsthand experience of how they may work. Do this as thorough as possible, then start swapping these new 5-star fits with your current 1-star flops. Other areas our quiz also looks at are team production bottlenecks. Is your team generating enough revenue or cost savings to justify your investment in them? Job description bottlenecks. Is your job description clear enough to provide the clarity your team members need on how to know what success looks like in their role? We also cover performance metric bottlenecks. Does your team even know the target they're striving to hit? Team training bottlenecks. Tell them once to never tell them again is bad for business. I believe one of our greatest privileges as owners is to provide training to our team. This way, lack of training is never a bottleneck. And the last bottleneck is systems bottlenecks. Is work not getting done because the process either doesn't exist or is too clunky? Again, you can take our free quiz if you want to discover your bottlenecks and some solutions to remove the bottleneck from the equation. Once you know your bottlenecks, which should you fix first? I like choosing the easiest one to fix that will move the needle the most. In other words, what's the greatest impact for the least amount of work? That's the one you should pick first. Now, how do you know exactly where to start? Well, that's why we built the business efficiency assessment. It takes less than 10 minutes. You answer real questions like the ones I just walked you through. And at the end, you get a custom report showing you where your biggest areas of improvement are, which bottleneck is the actual root problem, what to fix next. This isn't some fluffy personality quiz. It's a bottleneck finder wrapped in science, backed by the 3.3 rule. So if you're tired of throwing time and money at problems without knowing if they'll actually fix anything, go take the quiz. It's free, it's fast, and it might be the most useful 10 minutes you've spent on your business all month. Remember, take breaks, go faster.